Not everyone is embracing support for Ukraine during the invasion by Russia. A local woman says someone burned her Ukrainian flag. Now police are involved.
Plus, a violent crash along Raymond Road on Madison's west side. We'll tell you what we've learned about this incident and any information about injuries.
And yet another frightening moment on a Florida drawbridge. This time a motorcycle crash in Daytona Beach. Find out what happened. It's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10.
Can you imagine when you call your friends, your friendly nation, and you ask, please close the sky, close the airspace, please stop the bombing. How many more cruise missiles have to fall on our cities until you make this happen?
That was Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today addressing the Canadian Parliament.
He received a standing ovation for his speech in what will likely be a preview of tomorrow's planned address to Congress. It comes as we're seeing more of the devastation left behind by Russian bombing campaign. This video shows two large residential buildings in the capital city of Kyiv still ablaze after being hit. President Joe Biden will meet with NATO allies in Brussels next Thursday in a show of support for Ukraine. He will also join a scheduled European Council summit to continue discussion about Ukraine, including transatlantic efforts to impose economic cost on Russia and providing humanitarian support to those affected by the violence. The United Nations now says 3 million people have fled since the invasion, with millions more displaced inside Ukraine.
Today, the president signed a bill that includes more than $13 billion in humanitarian, economic, and military aid to Ukraine.
We're moving urgently to further augment the support to the brave people of Ukraine as they defend their country.
The leaders of Poland, the Czech Republic, and Slovenia all embarked on a trip to Ukraine's capital of Kyiv today, even as Russian airstrikes continued there. And today, the administration announced a new wave of sanctions against 11 Russian defense officials and the president of Belarus. Moscow has retaliated with its own set of largely symbolic sanctions on President Joe Biden, his son, and several top administration officials.
Fox News journalist Pierre Zakrzewski was killed while reporting in Ukraine. The network said the veteran war photojournalist was killed outside Kyiv when his vehicle was hit by incoming fire. Correspondent Benjamin Hall was with him and remains hospitalized in Ukraine. A Ukrainian official says a Ukrainian journalist was also killed in this incident. And tonight, Madison police are investigating an attack on Ukraine right here in Madison. Police say a woman's Ukrainian flag was found last night, burned to ashes.
Well, the woman lives on Winnebago Street. She spoke with our Brad Hamilton about what that means to her and how she's finding a way to move forward.
It was around 7:30 Monday night when Ann Walker noticed that something outside was burning.
Stunned. I was absolutely stunned.
That something turned out to be her Ukrainian flag, which is hung in support of the country that's currently in crisis. Walker couldn't believe two things. First, that anyone would attempt such a dangerous thing, and second, that someone would purposely seek to destroy the Ukrainian colors.
A country that is built on speaking up. We're a country that's built on freedom of speech.
But Walker is trying to keep all things in perspective.
I mean, I had a fire in the front of my yard, which scares the heck out of me. But they have a country that's being destroyed.
And the Ukrainian colors fly proudly in front of Walker's home tonight.
It's my one little way of showing support for a country that's under siege.
Brad Hamilton reporting. If you have any information regarding that incident, Madison police ask that you please call their tip line.
3 local Culver's restaurants are going out of their way to raise money for those impacted by the war. The locations on Cottage Grove Road, Todd Drive, and in McFarland are donating 100% of today's profits to World Central Kitchen. Other Culver's locations around the state are also participating in the cause, but not all are donating the same amount.
Well, after another spring-like day, let's see if our luck will continue. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti, our certified most accurate forecast out on the patio. Gary?
I think we'll not only be as nice as today, it'll be even milder. Let's start out by taking a look at the time-lapse from the WISC Skycam. Some hazy sunshine, a little bit of fog this morning, but notice the clear skies that we had for much of the day today. Very little in the way of cloud cover. That allowed the sun to beat down, and on the Main League bare ground, our temperatures warmed up pretty quickly. No precipitation across the state tonight. High temperatures in the lower to middle 50s for much of southern Wisconsin. A few places like Boscobel were up around 58 degrees. A little colder closer to Lake Michigan. Notice Milwaukee, Mitchell Field only at 41, but inland Waukesha got up to 54. And current temperatures are mainly in the 30s. A few places still in the 40s over southwestern Wisconsin. With light winds, the cold air tends to settle down in some of the lower lying areas. By morning will be around 35 here in Madison. Tomorrow should be partly sunny. It'll also be breezy and even milder with a high temperature of 65 degrees expected. Temperatures, though, will start turning colder over the next couple of days after that, and we'll also see some rain chances. I'll have more of that in the forecast in a few minutes.
It was a scary scene on Madison's west side today. A very bad car crash on Raymond Road. This happened around 5:15 near the intersection of Raymond and Gilbert Roads. One person was taken to a hospital with injuries. It was not immediately clear to what extent the person was injured. Fire officials said that person was the only one in the vehicle at the time. An unusual story from Madison's east side. Police say a 14-year-old has been cited for driving under the influence after a two-vehicle crash last night that resulted in multiple people being hospitalized. This happened on North 6th Street near the intersection of East Johnson. Police said the 14-year-old was behind the wheel with a 16-year-old in the front passenger seat. Two adult women, ages 27 and 38, were in the back seat. The vehicle crashed into a retaining wall of a home, and tonight we spoke to the people living there.
It's normal. This is the fourth time it's been hit. Each house on this corner, except for the yellow one, has been hit. So it's mainly a monthly thing.
Police say the car belonged to the 38-year-old woman in the back seat, and it was full of open intoxicants at the time of the crash.
Well, check this out. A close call caught on camera. A motorcyclist crashed on a rising drawbridge. This was Daytona Beach, Florida, over the weekend, narrowly missing falling into the Halifax River below. The Georgia biker was in town for Bike Week. He crashed through a lowered traffic arm, fell or jumped off his bike. The motorcycle ended up dangling over the river by its trailer. The man taken to the hospital with injuries that were non-life-threatening. The driver was also charged with careless driving, which has a $166 fine. Continuing coverage now, the man whose controversial arrest and shooting has left us with many unanswered questions is back in the hospital tonight. Quadron Wilson underwent a second surgery. Wilson in the Dane County Jail from February 4th until yesterday afternoon. His attorney tells News 3 Now this afternoon the jail staff did the best they could for his medical care. And today, it's an infection with a cyst and a possible fluid near his spine that has prompted a second surgery. Wilson's family has been pushing for him to be readmitted to the hospital since his arrest, despite the hospital clearing him for that discharge the first time.
I've been told either if everything goes well and the infection subsides, he will be released from the hospital tomorrow or the next day. But they're going to have to shovel him full of antibiotics and make sure the infection is taken care of.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office still investigating the incident where it all happened, and there are a lot of unanswered questions that remain about why Wilson was targeted for arrest or why he was shot at all.
New tonight, 2 child deaths connected to the flu have been reported this week in Wisconsin, according to DHS. The report does not go into detail about the location, age, or other identifying factors about the 2 children who died. DHS says influenza activity is increasing in Wisconsin and nationwide. Early this morning, police arrested a suspect in a string of shootings targeting homeless men in Washington, D.C. and New York City. Surveillance footage shows the arrest of the wanted suspect. Police say 30-year-old Gerald Brevard shot at least 3 homeless men in D.C. earlier this month, killing one of them, and then over the weekend shot 2 homeless men in New York City.
New tonight, a 4th COVID-19 shot for those over 65 could soon be available. Pfizer tonight submitting an application for emergency use authorization from the FDA for a second booster shot. Company says it's continuing to collect data, and we'll talk with health officials about a vaccine strategy. Wisconsin DHS Secretary-designee Karen Timberlake reflecting on what the state did right and what it did wrong in response to the pandemic. She spoke about the efforts at a Wisconsin Health News event in Madison. She says the 15 million COVID tests conducted in the state over the past 2 years was critical, and also gave credit to the National Guard.
You cannot imagine a more responsive, flexible, dedicated group of people, truly. They did our first tests. They gave our first vaccinations. They drove supplies around the state in the early days, right, when we had vaccine coming in and we had to drive it out to 300 hubs.
Now, she believes we won't see restrictions for the foreseeable future. Instead, she says there will be a focus on testing and vaccinations.
The White House plans to resume public tours for the first time in more than 2 years. According to a White House memo, they will once again host tours on beginning Friday, April 15th. To request a reservation, you have to contact your member of Congress at least 3 weeks before you plan to go.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Madam President. And as the day goes on...
Well, it appears an extra hour of sunlight is something everyone in the U.S. Senate can agree on. The chamber passed a measure today that would make daylight saving time permanent and get rid of setting clocks back in the fall. It passed with bipartisan support unanimously. The House still needs to approve it before it could go to the president. Now, if it does happen, the change wouldn't go into effect until next November.
And don't forget, tomorrow is the final day to register online for the spring election. You can visit myvote.wi.gov to confirm or update your voter registration. And how about this? A gas station in North Carolina surprising drivers with a very generous gift. Gas for only $2.25 a gallon. The station's owner said they just wanted to help people out during this time when gas prices have risen dramatically. The owners did have to take a loss to be able to drop those prices. Needless to say, customers were quite thankful. Good line there as well. And still to come at 10, Madison's Concerts on the Square announcing this summer's lineup.
Plus, an iconic U.S. aircraft carrier on its final journey to the scrapyard. A look back at the history of the USS Kitty Hawk next.
Grass looks great, Zeus. Hey, could you maybe trim the hydrangea too?
Sure thing, Kevin. You want me to do the box suits as well?
No. Finding the right person for the job isn't always easy. But when you have an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can give you personalized advice and could help you save hundreds.
Hey, Medusa, let's boogie.
For expert help with all your insurance needs, get to know your local Geico agent today.
Wow, this is where you work now? Figured I deserved a more inspiring space. And with home values being up, I had a lot of equity. So I got a home equity line of credit from Summit, and voila, added a home office.
Took your business to the next level.
Hey, you two have been in your place for a couple years now. Any fun plans?
Well, we just finished a refi with Summit.
Really?
And the plan is to make a bunch of great memories.
We're going to use the savings to get a camper.
Whatever your goals, Summit Credit Union can help you use your home's equity to go get them.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection is here 24 hours a day.
7 days a week for all your residential and commercial plumbing services.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, we've got you covered.
Visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
What can Sono Bello do for you? How about a new shape?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
New confidence.
I can see a huge difference. Look at this.
New you.
I can wear a little black dress. I feel sexy.
With Sono Bello, you can remove stubborn body fat permanently in just one visit. Don't wait a moment longer to reveal the new you.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation with Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, and find out how you can get $250 off. Sono Bello uses Tri-Sculpt micro-laser liposuction to remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently for incredible transformations in just one visit.
I have one big regret. I didn't go sooner.
Call 1-888-622-8360 or go to sonobello.com.
A local art teacher at high risk ends up in a fierce battle with COVID.
I'll share how his brush with death gave him a fresh perspective back in the classroom.
And we're watching for precipitation chances for the later part of this week. We'll time it out tomorrow morning from 4:37.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. Some pretty cool video today. The iconic Eiffel Tower grew nearly 20 feet after a new digital radio antenna was attached to the top of it. The tower, built in the late 19th century, now measures 330 meters. That's almost 1,100 feet high atop that antenna. During its construction, it surpassed the Washington Monument to become the tallest man-made structure in the world, a title it would hold for 4 decades until the Chrysler Building in New York City was topped off in 1929. Around Wisconsin, back in January, a young bald eagle took an unexpected 80-mile journey to La Crosse. She was hit by a train and was lodged in the front of it when she was discovered. Well, that trip left her with some ruffled feathers, as you might imagine. She's been recovering at an area raptor center, but today she's free to fly once again. Miss Stockholm, as she's called by local animal rescuers, was released back into the wild.
Ford will start shipping Explorer SUVs without rear seat controls for AC and heat and add the components later. It's a move to address the tight inventory of vehicles at dealerships in light of the computer chip shortage. Ford will install the feature at the dealership at no cost to the owners once the chips become available. Starbucks says it's planning to phase out its iconic cups. They're recyclable, but that doesn't mean they always end up getting recycled. The company's chief sustainability office calls it a, quote, ubiquitous symbol of a throwaway society. So the plan is by 2025, the company wants every customer to be able to either use their own mug or borrow a ceramic or reusable to-go mug from their local Starbucks.
It was once the biggest symbol of American military power, battle-tested from Vietnam to the Persian Gulf, and a survivor of a collision with a Soviet submarine. But the glory days of the former USS Kitty Hawk are over. The now retired supercarrier on its final journey from Washington State down to Texas, where it will be cut up and sold as scrap. Launched in 1960, named after the North Carolina area where the Wright brothers first flew, Kitty Hawk served the U.S. Navy for almost 50 years before it was decommissioned in 2009. Kitty Hawk was the last U.S. aircraft carrier fueled by oil, a relic of an era before the arrival of nuclear-powered ships. And more local news now. The Madison B-Cycles return to the streets today. The company added 8 new stations this year after adding 9 last year. It'll cost you a little more. Annual and monthly memberships both increasing $15 and $10 respectively. The operations manager tells us he expects 2022 to be the biggest year yet.
Well, get ready to enjoy live music in the heart of Madison this summer. Concerts on the Square is back. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra announced this year's lineup today. And here they are. This year's series will feature 6 performances. All of them will be free. The first will be June 29th. After the pandemic forced fans and musicians to breeze Stevens Field last year, the concerts are back where they belong, right on Capitol Square. And this is the 38th year for the event, and News 3 Now is a very proud sponsor. You can learn more about each performance on the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra's website. Each concert is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. and you can reserve a spot by just putting down a blanket at 3 p.m. And if you ever wanted to help your community during severe weather, here's your chance to do something good. The National Weather Service will be leading weather spotter training at Madison College on March 30th. This training is free, in person, and no registration is required. The training lasts about 2 hours. There will be 2 sessions held at 1 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. in the Cafe Annex at the Truax building. And here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti with a look at our forecast.
Let's get as many people trained as possible and hope we don't have any severe weather. That's probably the best thing. Well, we don't have any severe weather in the forecast, just some really nice weather for tomorrow. In fact, temperatures will soar. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for unseasonably mild weather tomorrow with high temperatures around 65 degrees, about 20 degrees above average. Chances for rain return Thursday, and the better chance will be on Friday, maybe mixed in with a little snow north of Madison late Thursday night into Friday morning. And then again, Friday evening, we could see a mix of rain and snow, maybe even changing briefly over to some light snow before it ends. If there are any accumulations, they'll be minor, and then they should melt pretty quickly on Saturday because temperatures already start warming up. We'll be back in the low 50s on Saturday and probably close to 60 degrees for Sunday and Monday. High temperatures today in the 50s from southern Wisconsin southward over the snow cover in the northern part of the state. That kept temperatures down a bit, but still into the 40s, even into upper Michigan and parts of northern Minnesota. To our south and west, temperatures were in the 60s and 70s. And right now, temperatures have dropped into the 30s here with partly to cloudy skies to clear skies and relatively light winds. But those temperatures will warm up pretty quickly. Notice out to the west, they're still in the 40s and 50s as winds continue out of the southwest. Compared to 24 hours ago, notice those temperatures up by about 10 to almost 20 degrees. So that milder air continues to spread in our direction. The jet stream continues to push to the north. That will give us the very mild conditions for tomorrow. And then a weather system in the Pacific Northwest will move in our direction, giving us some rain chances as we head from Thursday into Friday. But first, we have a warm front that will come come through probably late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Temperatures on our side of the front still pretty mild for this time of year, 30s to lower 40s, but on the other side of the front, they're still in the 40s, in some cases even in the 50s. And as we look at future track, notice the winds out of the south tonight, partly cloudy skies, low temperatures, mid-30s. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-60s with plenty of sunshine and a brisk south-southwesterly wind. Cold front comes through late tomorrow night, generating a few showers. Those could continue into Thursday. High temperatures on Thursday drop back into the lower 50s. And then the next weather system gathers strength to the south. Now, there could be some light snow that will change over to rain again early on Friday morning. But the longer range future track, one of the computer models, kind of interesting. This is the GFS computer model, and I've showed this to you last night, and it's still showing the same thing. It shows mainly snow during the day on Friday into Friday night and into Saturday morning, with the possibility for some fairly significant accumulations. But the European computer model and all the other longer range computer models kind of telling the same story. The second part of the story, some rain showers mainly to the south of us, and notice no snow. You don't see any snow there and no accumulating snow, and that's kind of what we're sticking with our forecast. But the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook is calling for above normal temperatures at least through the middle and latter parts of next week. Precipitation expected to be above normal here, and that's just because of a little more active weather pattern. But notice the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook calling for below normal temperatures to our north as we see a pattern shift toward the end of next week. 65 though for high tomorrow. Let's enjoy it while we can. Brisk southerly winds and temperatures, like I say, in the mid-60s. We drop back to the lower 50s on Thursday with a chance of showers. Rain on Friday, again, could be mixed with some snow, and then a warm-up over the weekend, first day of spring on Sunday. Rain chances, especially the early part of next week, and then a little colder toward the end of next week.
And coming up in sports, it was an Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. What his new deal means for the Packers' salary cap. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
After a serious accident, never take on the insurance company alone. Let us help. We'll go to work for you right away and take care of every aspect of your case. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
These squirrels are better at saving than we are. And more organized, too.
Try embracing your inner squirrel. When you open a BMO Harris Savings Builder account, you get a cash reward every month you save.
That sounds great.
You can also set up savings goals and easily track your progress.
That could help us redo the yard.
You could really go nuts. I'll show myself out.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
It's Ford Truck Month, America. With new inventory arriving daily, it's time to get after it in a Ford F-150 and a Ford Ranger. Stop by your local Ford dealer today and let us help you custom order your truck your way. Then we'll get after building it. It's Ford Truck Month. Visit your local Ford dealer today. Order your F-150 to lock in 0% financing for 66 months and $500 cash, plus an extra $1,000 retailer order bonus.
Every single day, we help families that have been tragically impacted in truck crashes. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. Truck crash? Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Alonzo Tucker was the first Badger to do it in 2007. 8 years later, it was Frank Kaminsky. Now Johnny Davis can add his name to the list of Badgers named an AP First Team All-American. Davis is one of 3 players from the Big Ten, joining Keegan Murray and Kofi Coburn on the list. And last week, the Wisconsin guard was tabbed the conference's Player of the Year. So it's been a lot of honors for Davis this season. But right now, all he's focusing on, making a deep run in the tournament.
It's really great to be recognized, as the player and the hard work that I put in. But also, I'm not really too worried about individual awards. We got, bigger things on our mind as a team.
The NCAA tournament officially tipped off tonight with 2 first 4 games. Indiana and Wyoming going at it right now. Hoosiers lead late in the second half, and earlier tonight it was Texas Southern beating Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The state boys basketball tournament tips off on Thursday, and Marshall is heading back to the Kohl Center for the first time in 10 years with hopes of bringing home their first gold ball in 2 decades. And as Jordan Reed found out, that would be a perfect ending for this group of Cardinals.
It's been 20 years since Marshall won the gold ball.
To be able to come through and do what we had set our sights on at the beginning of the season. To be able to do that, not many teams can say that.
And 10 years since the shot. That sent them back to the Kohl Center. Now, the Cardinals are just a couple of days away from beginning another run at a state title.
I think it's just pure excitement. I'm really, really happy that we get to share this together. These kids have definitely put the time in and definitely earned this opportunity. So, yeah, it's sunk in. Thursday it'll be real, though, for sure.
But state wasn't the first goal this group set for the season.
Well, our first goal was conference, and we eventually didn't get that. So we got to make the most of it. So tournament was the last thing we had, and now we're making a run. So now it's coming to reality.
One that would be a dream come true for this team, especially for the seniors.
It would mean everything to me to win a gold ball. Like I said, you dream of it as a kid, and to go out like that would just be a dream come true. The amount of work that they've put in and the amount of dedication that they've shown, it would obviously mean a ton to them, and with my son being on the team, it would mean a ton to me as well.
But first, got to take care of business on Thursday night. In Marshall, Jordan Reed, News 3 Sports.
Entering Monday, the Packers were around $44 million over the salary cap, but in less than 24 hours, they cut it down to just $4 million. Big reason why? The new deal they gave to Aaron Rodgers. It's essentially a 3-year deal worth $150 million, and he's going to make $42 million this year and nearly $60 million next season. Now, Green Bay's next big move, got to work out that long-term deal with Davante Adams. We're back after this.
What you see is important. How you see is important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Enjoy great savings this month and get 30% off a complete pair of glasses.
We're here at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Tom, people are loving this place.
They sure are, Jerry. Let's go see who Tina's chatting with now.
Thanks, guys. Looks like we have some beautiful ladies joining us. What are you up to tonight, girls?
Girls' night. We're getting some drinks. I want to win that car.
Sounds great. Are you feeling lucky? What's your favorite slot machine? To you guys.
Looks like those ladies are on a mission.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Chunk Gaming Madison.
Get the Planet Fitness Black Card, our most popular membership, for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. With access to 2,000 plus locations, bring a friend every time you visit.
I love friends.
And relaxing massage chairs.
That makes me so happy.
The PF Black Card is your ticket to all the perks.
Look at that glow.
Oh, it's all natural.
It's this place, I tell you. So get glowing and feel fit-tacular for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. Deal ends Wednesday, March 16th.
Here's to the guy with the tree in his kitchen who can't talk right now because his elderly neighbor needs help. Here's to the generator in the middle of the street with extension cords running to 4 different houses. Here's to the countless acts of kindness that helped the Midwest recover from one of the worst storms in recorded history. You've given a whole new meaning to the term silver lining. The worst brings out our best.
He should have used his power to serve Wisconsin. Instead, Ron Johnson served himself. An investigation found that Ron Johnson pushed through a special tax loophole that benefited his own family's business. After the loophole became law, Ron Johnson cashed out of the company for $5 million. Ron Johnson has doubled his wealth since taking office. Look up the facts and tell Ron Johnson to stop passing tax laws that benefit himself.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to add the perfect accessories to your new Chevy. Make it bolder. Make it work harder. Make it your own. Find new possibilities. Find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy pickup trucks. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward the eligible purchase of a new Chevy truck with accessories. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical recommends a comprehensive eye exam annually. Schedule your exam at shopko.com.
Every day, News 3 Now investigates. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, the White House is working to resume some fun holiday traditions for the first time since the pandemic began. It is expected to host the Easter egg roll next month for the first time in 2 years. The egg rolling tradition began in the 1870s on Capitol grounds. This year's Easter egg roll will take place on the south lawn of the White House, where it's been held since 1878.
A little bit late Easter this year, not until April 17th, but we're starting to get in that spring mode right now, Gary.
Sure feels that way. The live view from the Edgewater Skycam tonight. Skies are either clear or partly cloudy. Temperatures have cooled off a bit into the middle 30s, but no precipitation on Doppler track. You can see 36 right now in Madison. But some of the higher elevation spots like Janesville still at 46, 44 right now in Viroqua, 42 in La Crosse. Wind chills right now, not much of a factor because the winds are pretty light, so that kind of allows the cold air to drain down in some of those lower lying spots. Low tonight, 35 in Madison, 65 for a high tomorrow, 53 on Thursday, some shower chances through Friday. Some snow could be mixed in at times, especially north of Madison. Warm up over the weekend, better rain chances Monday night into Tuesday of next week, and then colder toward the end of the week.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.